Hello students, welcome to the YouTube channel Speak English in Your Own Way. I'm Ruwani Jayasena, I'm a professional English teacher. This video is going to be about responding. How to respond a question. පිළිතුරු දෙන්නේ කොහොමද? When we think about this, there are two ways. Number one, formal responding. Number two, informal responding. විධිමත් ප්‍රතිචාර දැක්වීම, අවිධිමත් ප්‍රතිචාර දැක්වීම. When we think about the both ways, the informal responding and as well in informal responding, you have to consider, you have to be careful about these three things. Number one, impression. හැඟීම. You can change the impression of the questionnaire as well. You also can have your impression very up. For that, a smile matters a lot. It has to be a genuine smile, සිනහව. That matters a lot for a better answer, for a good response. Number two, eye contact. You have to have the contact with the person who asked the question. Then the half of the situation, the half of the communication is successful. Number three, the body language. You have to have a good body language that belongs to the facial expressions and your hands, as well your movements of the slight movements of the body, shoulders, that matters to the answer. Now, you know the basic three things that you have to be careful in any kind of a response in this communication. Now, let's go to the formal responding. The formal respondings are expected to have in a formal situation. මොනවාද මේ විධිමත් situations, විධිමත් ස්ථාන, විධිමත් ආකාරයේ ප්‍රතිචාරයක් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ කුමන තැන්වලදීද? The interviews, or in a conference, or the management type meetings, or in any sort of a formal place. They are the places you expect to have very formal sort of responding. Now you can understand in those formal situations, the communication has to be very guided like. ඒක බොහොම සංවිධානාත්මකයි. Then your answer also has to be organized. For that situation, I'll just give you basic 8 things that you have to be careful, because you can have an earlier preparation in a formal responding. Prepare for tough questions. Pause before responding. Monitor your body language. Reward the question. Take more time if you need. Acknowledge the other person's emotions. Answer a portion of a question. Ask questions about the question. Preparing for tough questions. Because the toughness, තද බව, අමාරු ප්‍රශ්නයකට සූදානම් වන්න. As you know the situation, if it is an interview, you know what sort of questions would be asked. So you have to be careful about the tough questions. Tough in the sense, basically, the questions that you have to give more explanations. වැඩි explanation එකක්, වැඩි විස්තරයක් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන ප්‍රශ්න අහනවා. So you have to be very careful about giving answers, for giving lengthy answers, a long kind of a response for those questions. If you are ready to answer those long, somewhat tough questions, you will become successful in responding. Pause before responding. Pausing means a sort of a waiting. යම්කිසි නැවතීමක්. So that pause should not be done by a blank or in a quiet sound. I mean, නිශ්ශබ්දතාවය, the silence is not good in responding. So you can use some sort of let me think, well, by the way, of course, I think I know the answer. In that way, you can get a sort of a pause, because that pause is very important to give your brain a time to think about the answer. Maintain your body language. The body, basically the face, matters a lot for your answer, I told you earlier. But in this formal situation, in a formal responding, you should have a very good balanced facial expressions, a very good cool mood, very good movement of your hands. It will give you a big confidence as well a better answer for the other person, because he will understand that you are in a very confident and cool situation. Reward the question. When you're rewarding a question, you get the confidence to yourself that I know the answer. How to reward? Wow, that's a great question. I was waiting to answer this question. Oh, I think I know the answer. I'm happy that you asked this question. In that way, you can reward the question. It gives a big kick to the person who asked the question, as well it improves your confidence. Take more time if you need. In an organized, in a formal manner of responding, you have given a set of time. You have been allocated. ඔබ වෙනුවෙන් වෙන් කරපු කාලයක් තියෙනවා. So you should not be hurry up and you should not be very aggressively give answers, or you should not worry about the time. So take time when you are answering. Acknowledge the other person's emotions. When you are answering, you just look at the other person's eyes, the way that he thinks about you. Answer a portion of a question. Sometimes a lengthy, a bigger question would be asked. You have the right to answer portions. For example, if the question is, what's your passion in life? You can say, well, I have lot of passionate activities in my life. If I just talk about one thing, I like gardening. As well, I prefer doing my higher studies. In that way, you can answer part by part, kotasin kotasa. So that's called answering a portion of a question. Ask questions about the questions. You are free to ask any question. For example, what do you mean by? Can you give more explanation, please? In that way, you can ask more questions about the question. Informal responding. Any response that you do in your day-to-day life belongs to the informal responding. ඔබ ඉදිරිදා ජීවිතයේ කරන ඕනෑම කතාබහක්. That can be on the road or in a bus or wherever it is. It is an informal response. This is not an early prepared thing. You just give an answer to anybody who asks a question. So, this is very important. Informal responding is really important for the normal communication. Paying gratitude, excusing and requesting for so many things. ඔබගේ යමක් ඉල්ලන්න, ස්තුතියි කියන්න, මගතොටදී හමු වෙන කෙනෙක් සමග. You are always having this informal way of talking. කොහොමද? ස්තුතියි, මම හොඳින්. මේ ආකාරය කියන බොහොම වැදගත්, very polite responses are there. Hi, how are you? I'm good. I'm all right. How are things? Pretty good. How is it going? Not bad. What's happening? Nothing special. Nice to meet you. You too. I'm off. Okay, bye. So, my dear students, you just followed the formal and informal way of responding. So, let's meet in another video to have more information and to learn something more about English speaking. Have a nice day.